what's going on, guys? I'm Degidio. We are back with another episode of the Jaxxon podcast. I'm here with the legendary co-host Twitch, the one and only, and we have a very special guest today. Twitch is always bringing in the best, and that's why we were very excited to launch this show. And one thing I love about the guests he's been picking is that they're authentic to him, his community, his friends, things he wants to talk about. This guy could have any name on the world come and sit at this table, but he picks people that he actually wants to talk to. And I think that's very admirable, but it's also something I think everybody loves about you, and that's why you have the following and the career you do, because you keep it authentic and core to who you are. So we have Colby in the house. Welcome, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, man. It's an honor to be here. This is a legit show, dude. You guys are killing it. So
stoked you came down, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
I know you're busy as hell right now with the X Games grind coming up, so that's why I was like, all right, let me see if I can get Colby in this week. And when you hit me back, I was stoked. I was like, all right, dope. I got to get my shit together.
Hell yeah.
This guy's strategic with his shows. He's producing this thing better than our producers. Hey, you might be out of a job soon, Weezus, the way this guy's producing.
Just saying, dude.
He comes through proper. I think it's cool. I think it's cool the way, for people who didn't watch, the last episode was Ryan Villapoto and Jeremy McGrath, two other legends that Twitch brought in. I think what's cool about this super short series that we're doing, it's a 4-part mini-series, is guys like yourself and these icons. We don't always get to hear from you. We get to see you. We get to see the craziness. We don't always get to hear from you guys. And in like an unbiased, unpolitical way where you can just kind of sit here and chop it up.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to bring that type of dialogue and conversation to the podcast. So with that being said, let's kick this off. First ever handrail on a dirt bike. I got to start with this because it's a legendary video. We've watched this thing probably 38 times in the last 2 days. You got to explain to me how this project even came about.
Yeah, so this was year 3 real moto for X Games. So they got like real street for skaters. They got real snow for snowboarders, and then BMX. And this is the moto one. So first year, I did a bunch of crazy stuff. I ended up with 3rd. Second year, me and my filmer Tyson, we won. And then this is year 3. And it's crazy because you don't really know who's in the contest. They don't tell you who's in. So in my head, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going up against Beerman. I'm going up against, a bunch of different gnarly dudes. So I'm thinking, and you don't really get paid for second in this.
No, you don't. You got to win. It's all or nothing.
Exactly.
It's cool you get the medal, but you want the money.
Yeah, if you get a medal, you just get the medal. You don't get a payout. So first is the only way to go. And I'm thinking, what can I do to win? And this was the last thing I tried because I figured I was gonna slam the ground.
save the sketchiest thing for the last video clip.
Yeah, exactly. And then what I did was you can't ollie your dirt bike. You can't bunny hop a dirt bike. So you gotta how do you get up on the rail? And if I would have not, I put a 2x4 there to get me a little bit of pop. If you look, and then anyways, I had to get my front wheel up and then try to land dead center. And I just basically committed. I just said, fuck it, going for it. And it slid perfectly, and then I pulled it off, and that was like a legit grind because I had kinked the end of another rail, Oceanside. And my friend's like, yo, dude, that ain't a fucking grind.
Yeah, well, you come from a BMX background, so it's like most of your buddies are BMX dudes, so they're going to call you on your shit.
And I'm glad they did.
Which I think is cool because then it pushes you to be like, all right, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it legit.
Yeah.
And I remember watching this in your real moto. I don't remember if I was in it this year or it was the year afterwards.
You
but
were
I remember,
judge, I think.
I think I was a judge, and I remember watching, I was like, that's fucking dope. Because I grew up riding BMX too, and I know how hard that is, let alone on a dirt bike, because you don't know how much it's going to slide. I saw you were waxing the rail.
Yeah.
Did you try it at all before you waxed it?
That was it. Basically, I was just fucking around. The bike weighs so much. I was just laughing. I'm like, I'm a dirt biker and I'm waxing the rail. But it fucking worked out. And yeah, so I caught the last 2 feet of a rail before it. And I'm glad my homie called me out. He's like, yo, hey, fucking, his name's Sauce the Boss. He films all the BMX stuff, but he's like, yo, dude, you can't fucking end your real moto with a 2-foot kink, bro.
You can't claim that.
You gotta fucking slide down the thing.
That's what I think is cool about our sport is and I feel like your circle too. It's if I'm doing something and it's whack, I want my buddies to tell me. Don't be like, oh yeah, that's cool. There's too many yes men hanging around people all the time. So it's if it sucks, tell me it sucks so I can work on it even more. I remember when I started riding a Honda, Vicky was the first one. 2 months into it, she goes, you look like shit on that bike. And in my head already, I was like, man, I feel like shit on this bike, but I like it, And she told me, and that day I went and bought a new Cowie. I was just like, all right, cool. I'm like, at least someone freaking told me.
I remember that.
I was
the Honda, you went right back to Cowie.
I was on the Honda for maybe a couple months. And when she called me out on it, I'm like, all right, cool. you need friends like that around you, especially in our sport.
You need that. Like, I have a lot of, people I hang around with that I got, like, my tight crew that they're like, straight up, bro, like, that is the dumbest looking shit. Like, what are you fucking doing, man? Like, and then I'll do something. They're like, that shit's whack, dude. Don't even fuck with that. I'm like, all right, thank you.
I think that's perfect. And then I think what I wanted to get into too was the biggest change is seeing you go tree hugger guy, Mr. Green, on the e-bike right now.
Oh, yeah. So, dude, well, because, all right, so, like, let's see. I've never fucking rode an electric bike. Everybody told me to ride a Sur-On, but I'm like, I'll just go bigger on my fucking dirt bike. And all this shit that I do, like street poaching, jumping, like Frisco, and some of this stuff I'm doing, it's illegal regardless. So it's like, and I didn't care if I was making noise. I've actually never even been, like, caught from a cop or whatever. I've never been in trouble, right? Like, no one really gives a shit. Most people just see it and then they start filming and high-five me.
And you're in and you're out.
Yeah, but the reason I like the electric bike is I have a house in Colton with like a half-acre backyard right in the middle of a neighborhood. And I can just go back there, turn on my lights at night, and ride dirt bikes with the boys.
No one even knows.
No one gives a fuck because it's dead silent. And I'm in a neighborhood at like 10 o'clock at night, or I can ride all day in the backyard and nobody even cares because it's dead silent. And it has more horsepower than a 450, so you're actually on a legit bike. It's not like you're, riding like a little like mountain bike Sur-On or something. It's like you can go huge on these fucking things.
I rode one a couple weeks ago. I forget the dude's name. Eric, maybe?
What's his name?
Justin. Yeah, he came out
and
and took us all on a trail ride and went trail riding. I rode one and I was like, dude, this thing's actually pretty fun. I remember I got on the asphalt and I'm like, I'm gonna turn this thing up to like 80 horsepower.
Yeah.
I'm probably going like 40, 50 miles an hour down the street.
Yep.
And I gas it and I literally laid a roost mark on the asphalt for like probably 300 feet. Where I was like, oh my God, like I was tripping on how fast the bike was. But
it's unbelievable.
The bike actually handles really well. It's definitely a lot heavier. You feel the weight difference when you're pulling it off the stand.
Yep.
But when I was riding it, I couldn't tell at all.
Yeah, exactly. Me and Matt's ripping around that video. It's so funny. He's like, I put him at 80 horsepower and he's just going down my street, just holding it wide, and it doesn't stop burning out. It's unbelievable because there's no gears. But it works for me. I told the dudes at Husqvarna, it's like, hey, is it, what do you guys think? Is it cool if I do this deal? Because I've been with Factory Husqvarna for the last 4 years.
Yep.
And they were so cool about it. They're like, hey, thank you for how well you carried the brand. You set out and did everything you said. You won 4 gold medals on a Husqvarna. They're like, the talk you told us what you were going to do with quarter pipe is exactly what you did.
Yep.
They're like, yeah, man, anytime you need anything, and we hope you still ride Huskies when you ride gas bikes. I'm like, yeah, for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, to see the amount of dedication that you had, like something I never seen coming from you. Because I remember you when you would hang out with Scummy and stuff like that back in the day. And I've always been a fan. I've always been rooting for you because I'm like, this kid got a lot of natural talent. He's going to be dope if he just puts his mind to it. You know what I mean? Yep. So to see you actually go work your ass off, like when you're out, I've seen videos like the last 2 years, you're out at like 2, 3 in the morning with generators riding at your property with Bauer's ass, working on your bike. The Husky dudes, factory mechanic come out and like set them up. And to see that and to see it pay off the last, you won the last three quarter pipe contests, but you got 4 golds in quarter pipe, right?
4 in quarter, yeah.
And then 9 total?
6 golds total.
6 golds total.
Yeah, because they're 2 real moto. But
yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, I try to get a goal, and then I do I put in the work to get that goal done. And it's been fun, man. It's been a journey, though, for real. Cause,
big time. I remember you working construction and then barely riding on the side. You know what I mean? And you would come out and kill it. And I'm like, when this dude takes this serious, I'm like, he's going to be bad.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I remember it was like, everyone's already heard my whole story, whatever, if you watch any of this stuff, but it was like, I would work construction night shift down in LA for my old boss, Jed August. He taught me a bunch of different trades, like all the trades. Anyways, I'd work there all night, and then I would, I'm like, dude, I'm not saving enough money to be able to quit my job to go live out in Ritchie or like Paris for the whole winter and try to meet up with you guys. Because I knew Vinny Carbone, Brad Murray, and those dudes, Evan Hall.
The boys.
Yeah, they got me set up out there, and I was putting in the work shoveling. And then they're like, yeah, in the wintertime, Twitch would come around chasing the storm. I'm like, yeah, this is where I need to be. So I would go work, so then I ended up working 2 jobs. I didn't tell either boss, but I'd get off work, go to another job, day shift, drive straight back down to LA, work all night. Dude, I got like an hour sleep between jobs. So I'd save up both those paychecks and be like, all right, peace out, both the jobs. Like I gotta bail.
I'm out for a little bit till I go broke again.
And they're like, yeah, go ahead, go ride your dirt bike. Real smart choice. But I'm like, all right, peace. And then I would be out there all winter. I never missed a day. You were out there. You brought Cooper Webb. Everybody, all the pros, Plessinger,
that was fun.
Is just a dream for me, and then I had to throw down, so I'd be flipping a shitty bike, you know what I mean? So that was it.
That was dope, dude. I remember the one jump, the train jump up in Simi Valley, the Scummy jump.
Yeah.
How was that thing? I remember because your video clip is where the cop's chasing you and you still hit it, right?
Yeah, so that whole fucking thing. So I was just trying to make a name for myself, you know. That was the goal.
You did.
Like build a name by doing the gnarliest shit you could do, you know. And nowadays I'm like, I got to win contests, I got to deliver like stuff to my sponsors and videos and be healthy. But back then it wasn't about that. I wasn't making any money, so it was like fucking do the gnarliest
You have nothing
thing
to
you
lose
could
right
do
now
to just get your name out. And that jump, I'm like, I seen it. I'm like, I could fucking jump this.
Yeah.
So we go out and shovel it all day. Cops pull up on us. They're like, hey, beat it. You know, somebody almost just lost their life jumping that thing. Cat Sanders hit it. So I go back and it's destroyed. So I'd go back, re-shovel it, same shit, it'd get destroyed. And anyways, like, I remember telling these dudes from Palmdale, Easy Street kids, they're like, hey, we'll come out and we'll help you shovel all fucking night. We're going to make that jump happen. You hit it Sunday morning at 6 a.m. I'm like, all right, fuck it. And it was me and Matt Collins, solid photo. I don't think the kids, the Easy Street kids never made it. But, I mean, I had a motel.
But it motivated you.
Yeah, I had a motel down the street, and I filled up one of those fucking, like, DeWalt fucking plastic totes full of water out of the bathtub. Drove it over there, used water to fix the dirt to make it all clean. We were shoveling till the sun came up. I go, I'm going to go gear up. So then I hit it, and we just got this janky footage and pulled it off. And then I remember Schweitzer's like, fuck, I'm making a whole section on the train jump history. Now I got to put you in there, so you got to hit it again. And I'm like
it wasn't sketchy enough the first
yeah,
time.
I'll fucking hit it again, no problem. And then and so I stayed at Scummy's house, and Scummy's fucking like, yeah, just driving my truck and unload. I'm like, no, I'm fucking parking my truck on the other side of the tracks, because if a cop shows up, I'm fucking jumping it and I'm out, you know. And sure enough, dude, fucking, he was giving me all this grief about it, but I'm like, nope, fucking follow me over there. I'm parking my shit in the industrial area. So I park over there, ride down. And then I'm fucking waiting for this train to show up, dude. It was like 45 minutes, no train.
And you're sitting there geared up, ready to go.
Yeah, and I wanted to jump over a train. I didn't want to wait and fucking not jump a train.
Yeah, it just looks way cooler.
Yeah, so then 2 cops pull up. Like, somebody must have called and seen me all geared up waiting to
because there's been a few people that have crashed on that thing pretty bad.
Yeah, like real bad. Like fucking.
Pull up the video, Wayne.
It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, as you talk about this, I want to pull up the video so you can walk us through this.
The next one down with the cops.
Yeah, this one.
On the Pipe 7.
As if it's not crazy enough, you're like, nah, I'd rather do it over a train.
Yeah, because I knew I was going to clear it. Yeah, that's what you want, you know. So I was waiting for the fucking train to show up, and then 2 cops show up. So I fucking like kind of lured them away from it, like rode over here. They followed me.
Got them to follow you?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, oh, hey, fucking, you know.
He's running.
Yeah, and then I looped around and fucking hauled ass.
This is the Cat Sanders kid that ate it pretty bad.
Yeah. He built
this
the
crash
lip
was
at the
gnarly.
top.
Oh my
made it.
And literally right past where he landed, you couldn't see, is like where it downsides, right? Like it goes down to like a landing. So he hit and like bounced.
He bounced down a hill.
Look at this,
into
the cops
concrete.
like trying to cut him off.
Yeah, and I didn't have, I have a picture with my knobbies. There was no fucking knobbies.
Tires bald.
I just got back from Cartapalooza hitting 4th gear jumps when I hit it the first time, and then I didn't want to have knobbies because I didn't want to hook up more than normal. I wanted to hit the same way.
Yep.
And I painted my bike all chrome for homage for Tracy Monroe and DJ Swing.
He was the first one
Chrome.
that jumped it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Tracy
that back
Monroe
in the day.
and DJ Swing.
What was the cop thinking he was going to do? Cut you off so you couldn't jump it?
Yeah, they knew the deal. Like a dirt bike, that jump's fucking famous in that area because so many people have gotten hurt on that thing. So they didn't want to see anybody get hurt. But after I fucking did it, I just pinned it straight to my truck. I threw a big blue tarp over it.
Over the bike?
Yeah, and threw some shovels on top so the tarp wouldn't fly away.
Did you lay your bike down?
Yeah, I just laid it down real quick. I was fucking tripping.
Like,
I was trying to get out of there. Yeah.
They never found you?
No.
Wow.
No face, no case.
You're like, yeah, let's just put out this video. No face, no case. I'm going to put out a video with 1 million views.
It wasn't him.
I could even say right now that was all bullshit. Yeah. You know? But
we just did this for the internet.
Yeah.
You know, one thing, when you brought up the electric bike, I just had the founder of Dub Magazine, Miles Kovacs. He was here like 2 days ago. He owns Tiz, that rim company and stuff, and he was showing me this electric bike.
Yeah, that's the bike he's riding right now.
Yeah, and he brought it by, and he was talking about you, and he was talking about you and the bikes, and he was showing me, he was trying to bring it here to like help me with some other stuff we were working on, and I was like, yo, let me ride that thing. He's like, nah, bro.
They are fast.
He's like, you think this is a scooter? This ain't a scooter, bro. Because I was like, oh, this is like riding a Razor. He goes, are you high? He's like, this thing
fast.
will rip.
Yeah. There's no gears, so it's like if you hold it wide open, you're not just in first, you're fucking 5th gear wide.
Every gear.
And that's what I was saying. It works for me because I do quarter pipe, and the horsepower, it should fucking make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like, that's what I was thinking. Like, when I saw you start riding it, I'm like, that's a genius. Because, like, you're everyone's trying different gearing and, like, trying to get the bike set up good. And that thing, like, you crack the throttle and it is instant power. And it's like, you don't want to go into the quarter pipe too fast because you don't want to pack into it and blow out like you did at Minneapolis. Like
18 or 19.
Because I see it in this dude's eyes. He's like, fuck this, I'm winning right now. And I see him coming to the ramp. I'm like, oh, dude, he's going fast.
Yeah.
Like, and when you hit the quarter pipe so fast, it wants to bounce you back because that thing's straight up and down. It's like 4 feet of vert.
It feels like you're hitting a wall, you know?
Yeah, like
it's fucking
18
gnarly.
You guys are on the 18 foot tall?
Yeah, 18 foot, but with like 4 feet of vert where it's flat.
And it's like you got to be strong for that because your body just wants to like fall, like fold into the bike. So it's like I've been seeing you've been training your ass off lately. But my question was, do you think you haven't really rode the e-bike enough, but do you think you could go higher on it?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I still have my gold Husqvarna bike from last year, but right now the electric bike feels really good on quarter pipe. Like, so I'm gonna break out the height pole and start looking at footage and see where I'm at. But the dudes at Stark are really cool, and I think it'd be cool if I could win on it because it'd be something different. I won the last 3, and I think it should fucking go higher. So
yeah,
I feel
it's
good
definitely
right now.
a little bit heavier, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think with how instant that power is, I think you got a big advantage for sure.
Yeah.
Once you figure the bike out, because you literally just started riding it. So.
Yep. I barely started riding. I fucked up my knee, so like I haven't been riding at all. I just had my son out in Hawaii. I was out there for like 6-7 months, so I really didn't ride too much. And then I try to fucking go running and working out, but it rains so much. We're on North Shore. There's no gym around there. Anyways, so now I get back and I fuck my knee up. So I'm like, I got like 8 weeks to get ready, but I will see.
What prompted the move to Hawaii?
Well, my wife's mom lives there, and she's lived there for 10 years. She's from Florida, but I'm like, you know what? I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, we could do this whole pregnancy right here in Colton, and I could be out riding every day, and she's just by herself. Her friends live out by the beach, Huntington and stuff. So I'm like, it's either that or we go out to Hawaii. I had to get shoulder surgery anyways on my right shoulder.
You did that right after X Games last year, right?
3 days after X Games, I knocked it out because it's so hot in the summer. It's a good time,
Yeah.
I try to plan my surgeries where I can compete.
Yep.
So knocked that out, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go heal up out there. They had a good physical trainer or whatever out there. So I'm like, let's just do it. Let's try it out, So I rented a pad right on North Shore, right by VLAN, across the street, right next to motocross track.
Yep.
And I'm like, fuck it, let's go. It rains a lot out there, and I'm so spoiled with Southern California riding.
Yeah.
You can't beat fucking, Richie, fucking Beaumont.
You have that one spot right above
Ocotillo.
your house. It's like, I've ridden there a couple times. Like, I remember we filmed Krusty back there. Like, we filmed a bunch of stuff there back in the day. But when I saw you moved out there and I saw you set up a landing, a ramp, like all the stuff, I was like, that's dope. I'm like, it's just something different. And it's like, it's a dope spot.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. It's something different. I really love it out here,
Yep.
But it was cool. And then Big Island Mike, Nathan Fletcher, and then G Money, those dudes all set me up, got me dialed. So it was a good time. And yeah, that's about it. Me and Tyson filmed a really fucking cool video part out there. So we're still editing on it, but
that's dope.
I got that out of it, and then that drain was dope. That shit.
Yeah, that was one of my next questions. Like that step down on your ramp. How far did you step down that thing?
I just kept going further and further and further, but I'm on a 2-stroke, so like sometimes you barely give it a little bit more, and it fucking hooks up.
Yeah,
dude, I landed like 10 feet from the fucking bottom. I bent my front wheel, but I really fucking sent that thing all the way to the bottom. I don't know how far. It's
thing's
like,
so gnarly. I remember I would always see videos of like Poopsie and like JOB's ass out there like surfing down it. And then when I saw you with your ramp, I'm like, no way, he's gonna jump down this thing. It's steep too, dude.
That video got like 80 million views, and then I look and you click, it's like I got like 80,000 followers just from that video and like fucking 600,000 shares.
Look at this thing, dude, and it goes underneath the bridge, right? Yeah.
You gotta walk me through this. How do you even get this idea, bro?
Go all the way to the end of the video. This is like us setting up and showing how we fucking carry the ramps in and all that. And then at the very end, I got a more mellow ramp that I built and hit it like 3rd gear and launched all the way down. I actually accidentally gave it too much throttle. I could have fucking died. Like,
well, 100% you could have died.
It was like, whatever, how many feet? Like 200 feet straight down.
And that's gnarly, dude.
Yeah, so at the end, I send it way too far. Go a little bit before
Who's
this.
your camera guy? That's gnarly.
That's Scummy Diener, dude. Scummy Diener from Oceanside.
No way.
Yeah, this one. I landed right at the bottom.
Oh, my God.
This give me a stomachache. I know you're used to this Twitch, but I can't.
No, even this shit still scares me. Like, dude,
I mean, look
how far dude, you were like 10 feet from the belly of the transition.
Yeah. It was a hard landing, too. Like, I thought my hands were going to blow off. Bro, right when I take off, I open my fucking knees all bow-legged because I'm, like, trying to parachute out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
How do you even get this idea though to do this? Oh my God! Someone left the hammer.
No, they had
put it there.
The tape there.
Yeah, I just tied it to the rope so you could like lower the measuring tape down. But the idea was that I seen Jamie O'Brien and Scummy Diener going down it when it would rain, like on surfboards, and they'd slide down video. It, which is gnarly.
Yeah, they try surfing it. Like
they try to get me to do it. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna fucking do this shit. I'd rather come back on my dirt bike when it's dry. You know?
Oh yeah. That's more that's more logical. Yeah.
Well, technically, we feel way safer on our dirt bikes when we shouldn't.
I heard you guys talking about how like you're like, oh, I do all kinds of shit, but I'm not gonna fucking get hurt on something that is not what I get paid to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's exactly it. I grew up snowboarding at Mountain High from Palmdale.
Yep.
I grew up skating mini ramps and shit, breaking my fucking elbows.
Watching your pods.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
So this setup right here, obviously you're filming this just for like a business standpoint. I always wonder this, like you're filming this for your YouTube, or is this a brand comes to you and says, yo, you want to put this together?
For my YouTube and just for fun, and then if it goes viral, then that's the the bonus part of it. Sick. And it did, so that was cool. But I mean, I make ramps, Raha ramps, so I'm getting into that more and more, and like just.
I think it's dope. I was actually talking to my wife about it this morning. She's like, "What are you going to ask Colby about?" I'm like, "I want to talk to him about his ramps because I'm like." I noticed you started making the ramps originally, and now I saw you came out with kid ramps, which I'm like, this is genius. Like, what little kid doesn't want a dope ramp, and it's your ramp? It's
something different. Like, it's like something that I can do because I go out and I do all the stuff with ramps in the streets or whatever I do is like I use ramps, and I've always built ramps as a kid, like little wooden kickers. And if you watch all my real motos, I'm always building like a ramp for the specific spot.
Yeah.
And so I got into like with business partners and stuff, and we had like. That was like we did our FTW stuff with the ramps, and then finally now I just bought out all my business partners, so I'm like, Raha ramps, it's just mine.
Smart.
I call the shots, I write the emails, I respond to the fans.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's
dope.
Way more like what I want it to be.
It's more authentic. People back it more when it's like that for sure.
Yeah,
play it at Twitch's book.
Yeah,
dude.
I designed the ramps, and then I was the face of the brand, but I wasn't responding to the people. And then I get a message from like some badass rider, like in our movie Narnia, like two of the dudes that have parts, Scranny and Broski. And they're using other fucking companies' ramps. I'm like, I told you to send them a ramp before Narnia. Like, now they're using our competitors' ramps. So,
that's another thing, dude. Like, I feel like there's always been guys that have done street parts, but I feel like you're one of the dudes that have taken it to the next level. And then you got dudes like Borowski and Scranny. Like when I watched both of their parts in your movie, I was like, fuck yeah! Like this is like a whole. It's not like a whole new era or a whole new wave, but it's like it's dope to see how hard all these dudes are going right now in the streets because it's not like it's something that you see all the time.
Yeah, it's different, and that's why I wanted to put Scranny in there because I knew he could pull it off. Like that
Scranny's really talented at a bunch of dumb shit.
Yeah,
and like so when I seen his part, I call him like, "Yo, I'm like, your part's inspiring, dude. Like it makes me want to go do cooler shit right now." Where I'm like, I feel like I'm slacking, and I was like, that was cool to see because I've known Scranny for years. He's not the best rider, but he's really talented and he's really creative. And I'm like, he's like his whole part, I was like, dope.
He's like standing on his seat. Catches a frisbee and throws it into a frisbee basket, like at a frisbee golf course. You know what I mean? That stuff's like he was telling me the other day, he's like, fuck, man, I'm hurt because he crashed in the movie, and he's like still recovering. He's getting better now.
His crash was gnarly, dude.
Yeah,
like he got lucky for what it was.
For like living, that was fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
He ended over like 140-foot road gap because I think either his bike died or his front brake. But anyway, he got really fucking hurt, and then anyway. I was telling him, I'm like, dude, don't even be bummed. You're hurt right now, but your part's so sick. It's like you're doing shit that other people don't do. Like your style is fucking crazy, you know.
The Big Five sporting goods drop was
with
sick.
The scissor lift and
like
he hit some golf balls with his back tire and popped them up, and they both went into the golf hole.
Yeah, like he's super creative.
Yeah,
dude.
he just does crazy dope shit. So that was cool. And then the street stuff, I just needed something. I seen you jumping on houses in your real moto, you know. And I already knew that was kind of the new thing to be doing because what are you going to, like, you can't just ride all dirt for your real moto part. You got to have some different creative, different stuff. And I knew nobody else would really do much of it. So I'm like, what bridge can I jump off in LA or what fucking, stair set can I jump down or gap street stuff. And that I think is probably why I ended up winning because it was something different and I still made it gnarly. So
that was one of the reasons I voted for you to win when I was a judge, just because of your part was so authentic to yourself. Because I know your background with BMX, and it's like if you ride BMX, you don't just only ride dirt. You ride street, you ride park, like you ride everything. You look at everything as like, oh, I could jump that, I could slide down that. So to see that on a dirt bike for me, like nothing but respect. I think it's dope.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and you guys as well. All the stuff you guys do, and Flipping all the biggest shit right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
back
if
there.
I'm out in the hills somewhere and I'm doing something and I see everyone out riding me, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna flip it real quick.
Yeah, and you have to do that. You got to fucking do the gnarly, the new stuff to keep, you know, your name, but then your whole brand basically just going. So I'm always looking for the gnarly, whatever the fuck is next kind of thing that's like keeps you, you know, keeps going. So yeah, you guys are pushing flips and tricks, and fuck, you guys there was gnarly too.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's dope, but I feel like you guys are the ones with the torch now, and you guys are carrying it on, and like I think everyone's stoked to see what you guys are all doing with it for sure.
Right on.
The other one I wanted to talk about was the wall ride at Era. So
Off the
our
ramp
buddy,
van.
our buddy who does all of our graphics, our buddy Dustin Wacker, he his building was right next to his building when they had at the same time. And was it for your real moto?
Yeah, it's for real moto. So it's just another thing. It's like, what can I do that's gnarly? And,
One of the sickest wall rides I've seen, because you gap. It's not like you jump onto it and you ride it. Like you jump onto it and bounce off of it. Like
yeah, and that stuff, like, it's weird in moto. Like, you do something different like that, like jumping off of a ramp onto a fucking building wall and jumping down. Before that, Link Ogle had a quarter pipe that he rode over a door, which was fucking gnarly.
Yep, that was
But
dope.
a lot of the wall rides were like curved wall rides or barely slanted.
not a legit wall.
Yeah, but like BMX, it's like you got to fucking be legit. So
Yep.
it's like I jumped off the ramp van onto a building, and then I had to figure out, like, dude, it was so fucking
The angles,
sketchy.
the landing. Like,
Where-
am I gonna pop off? Am I gonna slide off?
And that
like,
landing was a box jump landing I built for my shop. So it was so steep and not even like proportionate for like what I was trying to do. Like
this is gnarly. This
Bro,
is
who,
gnarly.
who made the van with the ramp in it?
that was built for Monster Garage, and then
I think it's been around.
Ryan Johnson, it was his van, and I bought it off him.
That is legendary.
I've seen some cool shit off that van out in the hills too, with you and Franco.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It used to be a different color, right?
It had logos all over it. Now I sprayed it.
my.
I sprayed it black. So I overjumped it because I was guessing, like, where am I gonna fucking land? But I got so close to landing it, I was like, I got it next try.
yeah,
I'm not hurt.
100%.
And then
you
I
could tell
stomped
too, like
it.
you gassed it pretty good against the wall.
Yeah.
I was so bummed when they made
A
them.
bunch of fucking homeboys, just random dudes. Everyone wanted to come out and help and shit. You know, it's like, dude,
Oh,
it's-
dingus.
I mean, what a way
Dingus
to
and-
like reimagine the level of tricks.
Look at this, dude. It's so dope.
Yeah, that was just a good one. And then Tyson filmed it with his wide angle, and it looked fucking dope. And then
You can tell, like, the more comfortable you got, like, the more pop and style you get into it. It
yeah,
looks so
I
rad
did
like
it
that.
so many times, and then the neighbors, some of the neighbors were like kind of like tattletale style.
Yeah, I was
And,
bummed when I showed up. I was like, oh, I'm going to go get a picture of the tire mark.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
they made us paint over it. I'm like, what?
No, I went up and cleaned it because
Oh, you did?
I didn't want to get kicked out. That was like fuck.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like staying in that shop here and there. I'd get apartments and stuff, but I'm like I got all my shit here. I'm not trying to get kicked out. So like fucking tire marks above the sign above Era. Because
Well, I think Wacker has a dope photo of it blown up
Yeah.
in his office.
Yeah, we got plenty of photos. So I just wiped it off, but I didn't do it over my shop because there was a tree right where I was trying to land.
Dude.
That is the craziest thing to me. People that can like reinvent the sport, the style, the look. Because I look at that all the time.
It's going
in
off
skating,
what other guys
surfing.
did,
Yeah.
you know, like not trying to like reinvent nothing, but just doing what I could do to fucking be gnarly to stand out to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I just appreciate the fact that you can reimagine like what like you said all the time. Like if you're not taking it to the street or to a bridge or to a jump, like everybody's seen the same dirt thing, everybody's seen the same jump thing.
You can only do everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone does really similar shit with just
Yeah.
different style.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see like outside the box.
Yeah,
type
to the
stuff.
naked eye, you know, like to the consumer and the viewer and the subscriber who doesn't know moto,
Yeah.
and maybe is just a fan of motocross but knows you guys or is a fan of combat sports. I see this and I'm like, this guy is the coolest dude ever.
Thank you.
Like, because I'm not seeing this from anyone else.
it's all BMX. It's like
Yeah.
basically it's like a heavy ass BMX bike, you know, and
Yep.
that's what I look at it as when I'm doing that kind of shit. I grew up racing moto my whole life, and then freestyle was kind of like it was free to, like, you didn't have to pay to sign into the track or get fresh Dunlops to fucking get a good start
or have the most money in the semi.
Yeah,
and
it was
the
too
10
fucking
bikes.
much money.
Yeah,
dude.
like,
I
it
think
gets
that's what
expensive.
happened. Like when 4-strokes became the thing, it was too much money. Like, so 2-strokes, you could kind of show up in a tailgate and go moto at the track. It wasn't too much. It was fun. That's what I grew up doing. Then 4-strokes, it's like $12,000 right off the showroom floor. And if
For
you
a
want to
stock
win,
bike.
you got to put a motor. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm going out to the hills. I'm going to end up riding with this dude and his homies. And then I'm fucking riding a bald tire, and it doesn't matter. I'm topping my bike off with fuel changed oil once a fucking, couple months.
Still having fun.
And I'm throwing whips, and I'm getting more props than the racers who get fucking 7th at Supercross, which is insane, gnarly as fuck. And then we're having fun and you know what I mean? So that was, I was like, yeah, I like this shit.
Good way to look at life, man.
Yeah.
When, at what point did you know, like, okay, I can make this my career?
Dude, it was weird how it happened because I was trying to get my Supercross license and I was actually fucking racing like, I was at fucking arena crosses battling like Hodges and shit. It's fucking fun.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, so
I remember that was everyone's dream.
Yeah, so I was doing the construction to save money to go race was what it was, and then I fucking drove all the way to Cincinnati, Ohio in a van with like a flip phone fucking on a like 10
You
freeway
printed out
to 20.
your directions before you left on a piece of paper.
Yeah, exactly, dude. So I'm like, fuck, like I was just making it there. Get there, and then I had good lap times. I was like gonna fucking qualify or whatever, and then some fucking squid like cuts me off, like gets cross-rutted, dislocates shoulder, took an hour and a half to pop it in, and I was like, fuck this. I drove all the way back home, and I picked up my homie Evan, which he was like tight with like Vinny Carbone and all the boys at the Nimmer crew, and I pick him up smoking a cigarette. I'm all, what's up, man? You ready to go ride? He's like, you done fucking racing? Fucking, that's what I've been telling you, dude. Let's go free ride, you know? So then from that point, it was just everyday shoveling. And I think it was like, I got a cannabis sponsor and then X Games. That was it. It was like, went to Nitro World Games, met Travis Pastrana.
Yep.
I already met you guys, and I was fucking just stoked on it, the way things were going. And I was doing backflips and shit, so it was like, it was going the right way. But when I showed up to Nitro World Games quarter pipe and I was going higher than everybody that was there, and Pastrana was high-fiving me, I was like,
you're like,
fuck
wait,
yeah.
I should be high-fiving you.
Yeah, and then Matto was like, yo, dude, Red Bull's looking at you, and fucking, you know, it was all, and then I got my invite to X Games, and I was like, I'm fucking winning this shit.
Yep.
So I just busted my ass and fucking put in the work and showed up, and Bierman was fucking going huge. And I was
he
like,
is not scared.
Nah, dude, he knows how to send it, dude.
He sends it when needed.
Yeah, and then so I last run went for it, and I wore the Militia spikes and shit, and I fucking
paying homage.
Yeah, I was like, dude, Militia fucking Link Ogle helped me out, got me a spot to train for quarter. There wasn't a lot of spots to ride quarter.
No one really had a quarter back then in the beginning.
Yeah,
like the one that you guys were competing on.
Yep, and I was like literally fucking had nowhere to stay. The place I was staying turned to like a fucking crack house, so I was like, fuck this, I'm not staying there. So
I remember hearing where you were living for a while. Like, there's a grow room in the garage, but I keep my bikes in the house. Like,
it was like, before that, it was just fucking gnarly. So I was bouncing around, and then Militia's like, I'm not driving a fucking piece of shit Nissan to Minneapolis. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah.
So then they let me take the van, and I showed up and won, and that was like, okay, I did it, you know?
Yep.
But then it was weird because I won my first X Games, and it was still like, one trick pony. This kid ain't gonna be shit. He got lucky. So it was like
Hearing all the
next
talk.
year. Yeah, it was like next year. I was like, I got a silver and quarter pipe again with not really a lot of place to practice. Then I got third in real moto and third in step up. So I'm like, fuck, that's three
now I
different
just
categories.
got 3 medals in one weekend.
Yeah, in 3 different categories. So that's not a one trick pony. So
Yeah.
then I started getting on it and winning and just putting a bunch of the money I won into my training spot, and then just, you know, trucking, dude. It's been a journey.
Yeah, that's rad. I think it's dope, dude. I think it's really dope.
I think the Militia part is the craziest thing to me, because as like someone who looks at the world more from like a business sense, not from someone who rides. I mean, I mess around on a pit bike, but like I look at everything Twitch has done, everything Militia's done, this whole world about how you guys kind of turn this subculture into a massive industry, right? Like, because people think of Supercross, but they don't understand like the culture of clothing and fashion comes from skaters and guys like Twitch and you and guys who are like free riding and kind of just creating their own style and living their dream.
Yeah.
And you wearing Militia and then, you know, spikes and stuff, like even the guys we were talking about earlier, it's like, what a way to like pay homage, like you said, but at the same time, it's like kind of nostalgic. Like you're making your own lane in a way.
Well, and what the dope thing about Militia was too, it's like, we were all punk ass kids. Like no one liked us. We didn't like anyone else. Like everyone, we would talk shit to everyone. We'd get in fights every weekend.
You
and
guys
it's like
ran it. You guys fucking ran the game for fucking.
But what's funny is
years.
like we all did that on our own before we became a group. You know what I mean? So it's like we all just like, oh, this is the family. Like this is like, it was like same from
But you
Palmdale
guys-
right here. Like
you
probably
guys-
getting in trouble all the time, stealing shit, breaking shit.
That's just
you know,
like BMX action sports kind of, you know?
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
is.
playing sports. I don't care to fucking hang out with those guys. I'm going to ride a skateboard and fucking hang out with my homies, and that's our crew, you know?
Yeah.
Like I skated when I didn't have a BMX bike. I rode BMX when I had one. I rode a BMX bike when I didn't have a dirt bike, but that's action sports.
Yep.
But these guys fucking dominated the fucking dirt bike freestyle game for fucking years. You know, it was like Metzger, Deegan, Larry, like they all kind of got it going, and then these guys just fucking killed it.
Did you look at this like when you wore the spikes? Did you already have a deal with them?
Just handshake deal, really. But it was like, I'm old school with the way I do. I'm loyal. Like, they gave me their word that they would help me out and put me on, and nobody really else had a spot for me, or I just basically fucking, that was my route, and I couldn't be more stoked either because I fucking looked up to Militia my whole life. So for me to go from being a broke fucking, living in a pickup truck, like not having any fucking extra cash, like I had to go like borrow money to fucking make it type shit, to like, now I'm on Metal Militia. That was like, what's up, fucking
I
to
made
my
it.
hometown.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'm on Militia, and then I won. But then it didn't really set in. It was like, yeah, you won in a new event, but what else you got? And then it was like, fucking all right. So then I had to step it up, keep going. But
it's like they forced him to be Metal Militia. They forced him to be like, yo, I'm here.
It
Come
was,
get some.
Yeah,
was.
it's the whole attitude too. Like, you got to be cocky when you're out there on your bike. Like, if you're not confident in yourself, like, you ain't really gonna do anything cool. You know what I mean? So it's like,
do you have a vibe about like the new age? I would say like the new age of Militia. Does that still kind of hold any presence to you, or like any kind of feeling?
They're cruising along. Like Deegan's.
yeah, I think everyone's doing good for themselves. Like, to me, like my era Militia was like, we were like a family. Like, everyone did everything together. And then I got to the point, well, everyone got to the point where we were like, fuck you, no, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, so there was definitely beef for the longest time, but then all that went away, and it's like, dude, we all got kids now. We all see each other. We're all cool. But to me, I feel like our era of Militia was like, you can't ever beat that. Like, I was like the golden years of like, we were on TV every weekend. We were like,
stars.
Whether you were good publicity, bad publicity, it was, to us, it was just, hey, they're talking about us. Screw it. Who cares?
And
if
they
like
won everything.
Yeah,
you know?
like someone from the crew was always winning something, so it validated what we were doing, and we could go fuck around and go do drugs and go do whatever we wanted to do, and no one would really say stuff. But then it got to the point where like, okay, we're getting a little more professional. Like, let's start getting these corporate sponsors. And
I'm jealous of their era because they fucking
Everybody is.
They fucking. They were all winning. They were all podiums, and they're all hanging together. And they fucking had the sickest movies dropping, and Deegan fucking on top of the world, and they're fucking right there. The whole crew. It was dope, man. That was cool.
Yeah, it's aspiring. I mean, is there a nostalgia though, like sitting across from a kid who you know is at that level and speaks that same language of Militia to now see him wearing it?
Oh, I love it. It's good. It's good to see the brand still doing shit, and it's like it's cool. Everything that we all set out for it to be. It's still a badass company, and
they're good
I think
people.
It's cool.
Yeah, they're good people, dude. They know what's up, and like I'll be able to pull off more projects now with them. You know,
that's good.
And I do merch and stuff on the side. It's like you got to have something going on, and then they'll do some stuff with that, and I'm looking in the future. I got like projects I want to pull off and records and things I want to do at my property, and they want to be involved. So it's just stuff like that. But they're just, you know, Deegan's really cool. He's successful. Larry's always had my back. So that's basically it. You know, I don't have time to run a fucking business right now.
Well, now, so I was going to talk to you too about your clothing company and everything like that. Like, I think it's rad. Like, I see a lot of your marketing. It's so natural. Like when you did the construction shirts and you're on the side of the road, freaking acting like you're doing construction and jumping over the freeway out in Arizona. Like, I think cool stuff like that like puts a smile on my face just to see like it was fun for you to do that. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like with a lot of athletes, I feel like, well, not all the athletes, but a lot of us are really good at marketing shit and selling it. And I feel like you're one of those dudes for sure. And I see your brand a lot. Every time I go to Supercross and we're giving high fives, I'm like, I'll see Raha. Yeah. I'll see Raha clothes. I'll see Slayco stuff. I'll see DBK stuff. I'll see Militia. And I'm like, I just always smile. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, these are all my boys' shit right here that I'm riding by, like giving five to these dudes wearing.
Yeah, I really fucking, however it worked out, everything, whatever I've done, it fucking, the people that are like stoked and support me are cool as fuck. Like people come out to my property for the classes and they're some of the best people and they're already wearing all my stuff. And it's a good crowd that supports me, so thank you to those people.
I honestly think what it is just you being yourself, not doing fake shit or doing something you would never want to do. Like, I feel like that's where I've had my most success too, is just being myself. Like, if you fuck with me, cool. If you don't, I don't care. Like, I ain't gonna lose no sleep over it. Like, this is who I am. I get people all the time, can't believe you're doing this. You're a role model. I'm like, I never signed up to be a role model. I signed up to ride my motorcycle for a living and make money and pay my bills and have fun doing what I do. If you like it, cool. If you don't, I don't care. Like, like I get it all the time, shows. You know, like
it's cool. That's your style, you know.
Yeah. And I feel it's the same for you. It's like you're doing what you want to do, whether people like it or not. And so that's why people back you.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Right on. Yep.
it's cool too, Twitch, because like one thing someone asked me the other day, they're like, dude, how is it dealing with all the egos of like, you have a P-Rod, you have a Twitch, you have a Sheckler, you have a Rampage, you have Mighty Mouse, you have, OBJ, you have all these guys you deal with, Blake Snell, Jock Peterson, and I'm like, bro, the reason why it works, the reason why the brand's so big or the podcast works is there is no ego. These guys are the easiest, the most selfless people.
They're the best at what they do.
An idea. If they like it, they would say yes. If they don't, they would say no. And if they like it, I know I could keep running with it because they're just straight to it. Like the problem is like, look at Moto, for example. There's not a lot of like Nikes in motocross, right? Mm-mm. The reason why is like not everybody operates at that level. And at action sports, these guys are so quick with it that if you don't act a certain way or perform a certain way to these corporations, they're never going to come in and back you. They're never going to come in and back the events or the sport. So it doesn't align. So that's why, like, when you work with people like yourself, you could just tell your energy, your persona. It's like, yo, I am what I am. It is what it is. You don't like it, move on.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's what makes the world go round in a more peaceful way.
Yeah.
It's the people that are like, oh, yeah, maybe I'll work with you. Oh, I don't want to work with him, but I told him yes, and let's see what he can offer me.
Yeah.
Price war and send this contract to that brand to try to get you more money. Like, bro, you want to act that way, you're never going to get a deal in your life.
Exactly, yeah. Your reputation's everything, and that's why I've always been trying to be solid as I fucking can be, and I never fuck nobody over. Like, everything, because I'm in it for the long game. We all are. It's like that. And then, you make your own rules. That's what's dope about fucking action sports. You don't have to be at the starting line at this day with this fucking. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you want, and that's fun to me, which is also gnarly, because then you're like, the possibilities are endless. I could fly to fucking Florida and hang out with Stitches next week. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just fucking, what do you do? Do you try to go be in a music video over there? Do you go work out and fucking get ready for X Games? There's a lot. So juggling, it's been fun. Yeah,
it definitely, it gets hard, like when it turns into a job, because there you have obligations with sponsors. You got to do certain posts and stuff like that. But at the same time, I always feel like people are like, oh, you're a sellout. I can't believe you're back in this brand. You're like, I'm a sellout. I'm paying my bills. Yeah. Like, I have a mortgage to pay for. I have school to pay for. Like, how am I a sellout? Because I'm enjoying what I do for a living and I get paid to do it.
Yeah,
and people want to pay me. I'm like, that's not a sellout in my book.
Yeah, it's like I partnered up with dope people. I'm doing cool shit. Like, what the fuck is that sellout? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I won't partner up with someone if I don't believe in their product or if I don't back what they're doing. Yeah. I'm not going to be over here like, hey, I got some hymns because I can't get a boner. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's like, dude, I fucking risk my life to do the shit. Like,
out of all examples,
oh yeah, fucking yeah. What?
All right, make a public service announcement. He can get a boner without hymns. Twitch. As we get into the meat of this thing, and we're kind of getting towards the tail end of this. One of the questions we had is because of the way and where he's at in his career right now and his deals that he has, like Militia. One of the discords that we were getting, we have a Jaxxon podcast discord. We allow people to ask questions. And after the Jeremy McGrath one this morning, I was reading some of the questions. They said, can you ask Twitch how he got sponsored by Echo or Mark Echo or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Where did you get sponsored by Mark Echo?
Probably my best manager I ever had was Rich Swisher.
And the point of the actual question was like, how does riders like him, guys who are free riders making their own content, how can kids come up in the game? How do they get noticed by brands and get sponsored? Like, how do you think someone like him made it to the top? So there's some sort of like blueprint for these new generations.
I think he pretty much answered that already with just saying like, hey, like I'm going out there to go prove to myself and to put my name on the map. I'm gonna go do something cool. But at the same time, you see certain people try to do what we've done and they get hurt really bad because they don't have the skill. So it's like, it's knowing what you can and what you can't do. A lot of kids think like, oh, if I do this jump, I'm going to get famous. Where it's like, if you do this jump and you don't have the skill, you could die, like straight up. And I've seen it happen. So I think it's just being smart with knowing your skill level and at the same time going out and marketing yourself in the way that you want to be marketed. Do you want to be a clean cut dude? Do you want to be an edgy dude? Do you want to be an asshole? Like that I feel like that's all it is. And I feel like with me for like the whole Mark Echo thing, like when I was in Militia and my manager at the time, Rich Swisher, came on board. It's like, hey, like I see a lot of potential. I think we can do something. No one wanted to mess with me in the industry. Thor didn't want to mess with me. Like no energy drinks wanted to mess with me because I was who I was.
Twitch, dude,
I was rougher
Twitch.
On the edges. I was knocking over Red Bull fridges. I was getting in fights at events. I was throwing rocks at judges, telling everyone to fuck off.
For those listening, physically, literally knocking over fridges with drinks flying all over the place.
And there's a time and a place for all that shit.
There is.
I mean? So.
But at the same time, I feel like that made me who I am today. Like I wouldn't take any of that back. But Rich Swisher took the chance with me and like went to these people like, hey, He's gonna be he's gonna clean his act up. He's not gonna be smoking weed on camera. He's actually gonna be quitting smoking weed, which I never quit. He's like, he's quit. Everyone in the industry, he quit smoking weed. And I was like, yeah, I quit smoking weed. But there's a time and a place to do that and to show people it or not show people it. And he went and talked to everyone, just like, hey, we're going to do this. He's going to take it serious. He's going to win, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And that's when I took it serious and I went and started winning.
I would say for the kids, like, basically, number one, you got Instagram now, views. Like, you get a lot of fucking views, people are going to want to put their logo on you. That's number one. But then what Twitch is saying, you got to put in the work, whether you got skill or not. Like, fucking McGrath, all the skill in the world, Carmichael, put in the work.
Yeah.
So put in the fucking work, because you're not going to go out and hit some big jump and then you're on the couch for 6 months because you broke your fucking leg. Like, go train, hit the track, work out, be in shape, learn how to ride, then go hit the big shit, get the views. And then the other thing, your reputation's huge. Nobody wants to work with a shithead. So
if you say you're going to do something, you do it.
Yeah,
like,
have a good reputation. Come through with what you said you were going to do. Don't fuck a bunch of people over because it's a small industry. And then I think it's like, get a manager if you want to get your shit.
Well,
right,
and like you said too, like, get your Instagram going, get your TikTok going, get a YouTube page going. I see a lot of dudes that are dope that don't even have a YouTube, but it's hard. You know how hard it is being consistent and having footage all the time. Like, that's why, like, people are always like, hey, do another upload. I'm like, I'll never force content. I'm like, if I have something cool going on, I'll film it. But if I'm doing the same shit every day, I'm not going to film it and bore you guys.
Yep.
And I feel like you do a good job with that, with like, you're always putting out YouTube videos. You guys are always doing stuff. And I feel like younger me, I would have done that all the time. Now where I'm like, I don't even care. Like, if I get a video out, I get a video out. I'm like, I'm still I'm cruising right along, having fun, and I'm busy as hell.
Yeah, it's just time management. It's like, you got to fucking direct a filmer. You got to get the right shots. You don't want to put out garbage. You got to oversee the edit. You got to make sure that the product is on par with what you want it to be before it hits the web. And then doing that every week is cool. Like, I could do that in the wintertime, but then summer, it's like, dude, fucking, I don't want to look at nobody. I don't want to direct anybody. I just want to go hit my quarter pipe, get in shape, eat right, and fucking show up ready. So I put all that on hold. So you probably won't see me post shit on
There's
YouTube.
a time and a place. Like, you got to work your ass off. And the same thing with, like, the marketing thing is, like, if you're trying to blow up a brand and it's your own stuff, anytime you're posting on your videos, on your Instagram or your YouTube, make sure you're wearing the product that you're trying to push. Like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And it's cool that you guys are so open about it and not like these, like, swipe up now and buy my masterclass on how to get sponsored. Because, like, so many people don't want to give people, like, it's a simple roadmap. It's a simple blueprint. You guys are just putting it to a tune where guys that look up to you can actually understand you. Not everybody can digest some Harvard business, teacher sitting there being like, yo, X, Y, and Z, go read this book, go buy that class. Like, come on, bro. It's not that hard.
Do your research. I watch people. I watch videos all the time. Like, oh, what's this dude trying to sell without trying to sell it? You know what I mean? Like, when you're trying to force stuff down people's face all the time, you get tired of that.
Yeah, they can tell,
Yeah.
It's like, you can tell if they're fucking real about it.
Yeah, it's pretty lit.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah.
In terms of, like, how high you jump, I mean, people are asking, like, yo, how does he jump so high, like, on a bike? Like, obviously it's a weird question, but there's got to be a science to how you look at how high you think you could go on a bike, right?
Yeah, wide fucking open.
All right, I explain it like, it's like two things. It's like, when you're doing 140 down the fucking freeway, cutting around lanes and shit, you're not looking out the window going, holy shit, I'm going fast. You're fucking laser focused,
Yeah.
So anytime we're jumping, you're staring at the landing like a fucking hawk, trying to.
Like, I've ridden quarter pipe before. I've never even gone half this height. And even when I was, like, going low, I'm like, this is scary. So, like, I remember being here at Axel's this year when you guys were riding this thing, and I'm like, dude, this is gnarly.
I
like,
wish
you guys
that
were
shit
going
was live.
so high.
I wish there was fans because the fucking vibe was heavy.
It was so sick because you guys were just going back and forth, back and forth.
Year one was cool, but I fucking went the highest my second run, and I didn't have to one up that the whole time. So that was year one, but then year two, Axel was focused. He was ready. They were training hard. You could tell.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't even ride practice. It's his ramp, but he's like, oh yeah, fucking. You could tell he'd been putting in work.
That was me. I'm like, hey, don't go ride practice at all. I'm like, fuck with everyone. Get in their heads.
Well,
bro, is that Axel's backyard?
It's his
property up in Ramona, yeah.
How did that happen?
He just got tired of going everywhere and just bought land. He's like, I'm going to build my own jumps and my own shit.
COVID happened, and then X Games was like, oh, we can't have fans, but we're going to do one at Pat Casey, RIP's backyard. We're going to do one at Axel's backyard. I think Monster fucking sponsored it, I made that happen, but It was a legit setup. It's just gnarly for me going over to like their
someone else's spot. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, like I don't.
So you competed against him in home court.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And beat him at home court.
Yeah.
Bro, just looking at this gives me a stomachache. I'm not a pussy, but I don't care what anybody calls me.
Look at this thing.
But I will say I got a lot of respect for him because that took about every bit of strength.
This one right here,
I had.
I remember watching your bike loop, and I'm like, oh my god, like he's going right now. Like you had to muscle that thing down.
I had to like turn the bars till they stop, hit the back brake, and crank it in.
This was probably like my funnest year of watching because you guys literally kept going back and forth.
Yep.
Until your last run is when you beat him.
Higher. I got to go last because I won the year before, so
which
that's
is
the
good.
Order. So I knew where I needed to be, dude. That was like and I just got back from that Narnia crash where I broke my pelvis and my back. I was in a wheelchair for 6 months and then crutches for like another 2 months.
I remember you weren't drinking or nothing. And I'm like, I'm like, let's all shotgun a beer. You're not ain't drinking. And 10 minutes later, you're like, all right, I'll have one with you guys.
Yeah, after I won, maybe.
After you won,
yeah. Because I was like,
it was after you
I
won.
did my job. I had a beer after when I got home that night, and I'm like, dude, it was a lot of work, man. And I
that is so gnarly.
How high is that?
That was, what was it, 49 above the coping. So the
from the top of the lip, 49 feet, and the ramp's 18 feet?
18 plus 49.
So, dude.
I don't know.
Bro, that is so high.
It's gnarly. And like his quarter pipe's gnarly too. Like a lot of the quarter pipes they usually compete on are usually like the landing's a little bit taller. And I feel like his ramp is like right there. It's almost like a step down.
Dead nuts. Like it's like, yeah, it is like a step down.
So so it feels even higher.
Yeah, we're breaking spokes in practice and stuff. And what's gnarly is like if you come up shorter, you don't rotate. They got us in a weird thing with this because we're going as fast as we can without exploding off the ramp like on impact. You know? The geometry is so small compared to how high we're having to go to win. They should build a bigger ramp. And I've been telling them that I think they're going to.
I feel like there can be a better.
We'll go higher, safer, and it will come down to balls because you're not. Like right now, it's like a strength game. And
without getting kicked, because if you going too far, you get kicked
wadded
back.
it right there.
Yeah,
like, I
that was gnarly.
crashed. Like I barely pulled that off. You know what I mean? Like I pulled it.
Yeah. How many feet did you beat him by on that last one?
Foot.
A foot,
yeah.
Dude. And you guys were going back and forth.
Yeah.
Like it's so rad to watch that contest.
That was a good one. If you watch the full broadcast at 2021, I think,
they have
2022.
I watched it on Dingo's Close Friends.
They have cameras in the background that has like not like a laser, but like you can see the guys like overlapped.
Okay.
And it was crazy. Your guys' overlapped were so close. Like when I watched that video, I'm like, dude,
if you film from the ground, like his brother will post like the ground shots. You can't tell because skyscrapers look the same from the ground. But they set a camera up at like about how high we're going, and then they draw like a grid, like they put like a grid on the TV with the heights, and then you can really tell when they zoom in, they pause our highest. So they have a pretty legit setup. That's what I like about it too. It's like no judging. It's like legit, you know.
Wait, reverse it for a second.
Who has the biggest balls today?
Can you talk to me for someone who obviously will never do this in my life? How are you pulling the bike? Like you keep saying strength, but how do you pull the bike on that whip? Like when you're turning in the air, is that just all strength?
Look at his head too.
Yeah, that's because he looks upside down.
The strength is off the ramp, but then when you're up there, you're kind of weightless, but you still got to crank the bike. Like I had to turn my bars and then dip Euro the bike in.
You can see him pull down on it.
Yeah, hit the back brake right here and then turn the bars and then try to get that fucker to rotate because I was coming in crooked.
You could see like with his outer knee and his leg, like how he's trying to push the bike back down because it wants to keep you up.
But for someone who doesn't jump, like it seems like the bike is going to just go flat. Like it seems like you're going to just fall flat because you're so high.
Yeah, that's like technique, you know.
I was about to say it's all technique.
I was going to say like you do something over and over and over and over and over and it becomes fucking easy.
Got
you
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the whole strength part about this is you still have to turn like the bike into the landing because it's not going to just organically fall into the landing.
No, it wants to kick you off of it. It wants you to eat shit. Is what the bike wants you to do when you're that high and like.
This is the craziest thing to me. Like out of all action sports, this is one of the craziest things to me. Being on a motorcycle jumping that high, I'm like, bro, I'm out.
Step up used to be like my favorite event to watch because it wasn't judged. It was who could go higher. But now quarter pipe is like, it's my favorite event to watch, but it's also like my most nerve-wracking event to watch because it's all my buddies going against each other. And I'm like, I know all these dudes' mentality. Like they're thinking after they hit the jump, yeah, that was cool, but fuck you. Watch this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like everyone wants to one up each other.
And I'd rather honestly fucking crash than like get second.
You've shown that.
Jeez.
Yeah, I always say it.
Attitude, dude. I
I'm
love
like,
it.
Dude,
I love
you got to
bro.
be confident in what you do.
Like
That's why people love you. That attitude.
Yeah,
amazing.
people are like, "Are you like fucking suicidal? You got like a death wish?" I'm like, "No, I like living, but I don't give a fuck if I die." And then I'm like, I think my skill's gonna back me up, so I fucking.
I want to
for
win
it.
doing what I do.
Yeah, like it could, dude. Anytime we ride, that's what's crazy. Like anytime we fucking ride, something could happen to him.
Yeah.
With his chain or anybody, any of us.
Anyone.
The jumps we're doing are so fucking big. Even the 75er, they're flipping constantly all day. Something happens, you could die. So we know that. It's like it's not like you're gonna roll your ankle or hit your head because
You know that, but you don't ever think that. And I remember when I would compete in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever I can do right now to win.
Yep. And you could die at it, so you basically just block it out. You're like, yeah, it could happen. Same thing like last run at X Games. It's like, I'm going to go into this fucking ramp so fast, I'm going to hold it wide open, and I might just buckle off the lip, but I'm pretty sure I got it.
I can figure it out. Like I'm either gonna win or I'm gonna crash.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of us think at these events.
You kind of have to have that mentality, you know what I mean? You got to just be okay with like, I'm either going to be in the hospital in 30 seconds or I'm going to have a gold medal. Like,
wow.
And I'm pretty sure I put in the work and did enough to fucking not crash.
I've had both in one weekend. Gold and 2 broken legs.
Damn, was that was it?
With heart when I was doing speed and style, and then
yeah.
I got one whipped the night before, and then broke both my legs the next day on my back.
But that's what separates you guys. That's what makes people look at you guys and appreciate you. That's why Militia gets behind you. That's why people support you and DBK, because they support you, your brand, and everything you stand for. Because, bro, look at this. Like,
yeah, that's like how could you not have respect? And that's why everybody's like, no, I got respect for Axel. I mean, fuck, dude, he's doing gnarly shit. Like, we went head to head right there. How could
I think it's funny how you guys had your beef and stuff like that, but it's like at the end of the day, like when I see you guys ride at like Bierman's event, like an Imagination, you guys are all just like the biggest smile on your face, and you guys are just like ripping. Like, it's so cool to see.
I had issues with his brother and stuff. You know what I mean? So I definitely don't want to get beat by the dude.
Yeah, exactly.
On a professional
and he doesn't
level.
want to get beat by you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's the
So
same
it's
way.
like
so.
that.
But who does? Like, you don't.
No one does.
No, he's
I want
good
you to-
sportsmanship.
Yeah.
You know, we're men. It's like, dude, you beat me.
They give each other
fucking shake
respect
my hand
afterwards.
afterwards. You know, I do the same. Like,
Yeah. You and Axel are cool now. You guys are all
I mean,
good?
we don't. Yeah, we got no issues. I think we still want to fucking outdo each other constantly.
They like each other, but they still hate each other. You know what I mean? It's just it's a competition thing that's always going to be there.
I feel like I got a lot of flack for not really doing shit like wrong coming in a little bit. So that was just that. It's like, dude, I'm fucking a broke kid. I just drove from a tweaker pad down the street tonight. Showed up.
And I'm gonna win.
I actually hit the train jump that morning in Simi Valley. When I pulled up to Nitro Quarter, I switched my chrome plastics back to green in the parking lot, and then I fucking went higher. And then it's like, so like, fuck. It's like you can't even fucking say what's up, motherfucker. I'm fucking in the car. I'm going hard right now. Just respect me, motherfucker. You know, anyways. But no, it's cool. Now, like, what? We're like 5-6 years into this, 7 years into X Games, I think.
Yeah.
And no, I got respect. He's fucking puts his ass on the line just like me.
It's cool to see how hard all you guys are working. I had one last question. Was your crash for your movie that I heard about for the longest time, but you went like totally silent on Instagram, didn't post nothing, like no one said nothing.
So I couldn't really say much. I don't know. It's weird. It was like, fuck, dude. Like, the footage wouldn't have came out. I could say, I think I told inside the industry, I talked like, I fucking backsided 150 footer, you know?
Bad,
dude. That was.
What all did you break?
I destroyed my shoulder and broke the bone off the top. And I already had shoulder issues. Mm-hmm. But when what happened was I came in, the dude confirmed that the speed I was going was cool. And the landing was kind of steep, so I didn't want to go a little too far, and then you follow the transition all the way down into flat. So I'm like, I don't want to fucking land flat. I want to just make it. So I hit it with what I thought I needed. Mm-hmm. The speed dude, the guy with the speedometer kind of should have gave me a little bit more input, I thought, but it was whatever. Fucking you send it. That's what we do. So you just, go for it. I went for it, and I came up short, like in the worst spot. Well, if I came up more short, I'd have died. But I came up short, and my bike bucked me off, threw me down the landing, and I fucking went, like, my body went like 100 feet down the landing till I landed. And I just remember tumbling, and when you crash, you tumble 2-3 times, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to stop. But I just kept going, and I'm like, fuck.
Gnarly.
So I broke my shoulder, tore all the tendons to just shreds. Like, that thing would pop out reaching for a bottle of water after that. It was so fucked up. And I broke my pelvis in half in like 2 places and broke a bone in my back. So my pelvis like got lodged upwards. So they took me to the ER and they put a hole in my femur to put a pencil rod through it so they could tie it to like a 20-pound dumbbell so they would over a pulley to traction so that my pelvis would reset itself for 6 days in ICU with the weight on it. And I just remember sitting there like fucking, and you just hear it click and move and you're like, fuck. It was doing that for like 6 days, and it was like 2 or 3 surgeries, and they put a big old plate across with it looked like I got a C-section scar, a bunch of screws.
So gnarly.
And 2 bolts in my back. And I couldn't fucking put weight on either leg for like 5 months or 6 months, and then 2 months with crutches and then rehab. And then I went back, stomped the 311 footer you were talking about earlier. And then right after that, straight to quarter, like a month, and then X Games. And that was the second year at Axel's, and I knew he wanted to beat me, and I was like, I gotta fucking win again, you know?
Oh. Dude, it's out of control.
Yeah.
Before we go, you gotta pull up that video, though.
It's gnarly, dude.
Pull up the video of him jumping like 311 feet, I think.
When was that Harville's ramp, too?
That video exists on Instagram. It's if you want to watch it, you got to go to the Narnia movie, which is on it's on Amazon Prime, and then it's on NarniaFilm.com.
Did you have to do a deal with Amazon to get that?
We went through a streaming company that like licenses it out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
kind of like that.
Was it a good deal for you?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're still trying to sell, and to the movie cost me fucking about 10 times or 20 times more than I'd thought. So no, I'm still in like 70 grand and my partner on that thing. So buy the movie if you want, but
go get the movie.
Yeah, go get the movie. I need everybody go get the.
We need to pay for this.
Yeah, we'll put the link in this thing. Hey, wait, make sure you buy it. But for right now, pull up the Instagram clip. I just want to ask him a question. Yeah, this is crazy, dude.
Was that Harville's ramp, his same ramp?
Yeah,
or different?
That was the ramp that Alex Harville, RIP, that he went 425 on, which is the current furthest record for distance right now on the planet on anything with 2 wheels.
Yeah.
So
wow.
That's the same exact ramp that Steve Eilers, a.k.a. Toes, he brought down from Washington from his property, set it up, and then the goal was to get close enough to that record without breaking it to where I could show I could break it and then promote a live event where I would get a payday. Because everyone's like, did you break the record? I'm like, well, if I broke the record in the movie, it was for free.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking gnarly record to be breaking for no money.
Yeah.
So I'd rather get close to showing that I could do it with my setup and then promote and bring in sponsors to break the record. So if
anyone's out there and wants to sponsor him to win and break the record, just hit him up.
You get your logo on the side of the landing for fucking ever.
Forever.
The clip will live forever.
We'll link the video. I told him not to pull it up. That way people have to go watch it. We'll link the video and we'll put it in the description. Yeah, bro. I mean, it's a pleasure to sit here, bro, and just chop it up with you and listen. Obviously, this show, what makes it so special is Twitch gets to kind of just do his thing, and we just want to be able to provide a platform for Twitch to have a good conversation like this with his people, and I think it's awesome.
Dude,
everything you've done is insane. That one, I've been looking out here in the parking lot like all morning trying to figure out how far like 300 feet is, and I'm like, maybe I could do it, and I'm looking, I'm like, no, not a chance. I'm like, that's so long, I can't even see the ending.
Yeah, you just ease into it little by little, and it all becomes a math thing, and trying to fly the bike in the wind with the... It's pretty gnarly, but I felt comfortable with it. I do feel like I could possibly break the record. Once again, it's like, you got to give no fucks and go for it thing, but we'll see what happens. I'd love to do it, but I don't know. If the stars align, it's a big payday, and a company wants to have to back it, and it's so dangerous. Who knows if they even care to back something like that, you know? So we'll see what happens. 100%. But thank you for having me. It's a dope
Thanks for coming down, dude.
Thanks for the invite.
We appreciate you.
For you, dude.
Make sure you guys go check it out. We're going to link the movie in the description. This is the 3rd episode of Twitch's 4-part miniseries. You guys will see the 4th episode coming out soon. Make sure you go follow him on Instagram. Go check him out on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget Twitch has brand new drop coming out for DBK. Go to his website, check out everything he's got going on. And we just launched our brand new Cuban 8mm. You can see it on Twitch. You see it on Colby. Hey, how do you like the chain, by the way?
Fucking
classic,
dope,
huh?
dude.
Clean.
Yeah, go out with this thing on your fucking look legit.
Yeah,
he said it's all right.
Yeah, it's clean.
That shit's fucking
I like
dope.
that.
Yeah,
it's
stoked.
easy. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Jaxxon Podcast, we out.